Another one I've seen, and a lot of people are very unsure about this, and I think it's because they're ignorant to people think that anybody with disabilities cannot lead a normal life and cannot go do things in the community that other people do. And that's so wrong. I think a lot of people that have special needs or have children with special needs, like autism specifically, just because there are a lot of behaviors and like outbursts and things like that, they don't bring their kids out in the public like they probably should, because they feel other people look at them funny or talk about them. And yes, I'm sure they do, because it does happen. But people are afraid of that kind of stuff. They are afraid of people judging them because their kid's having an outburst, because, you know, they're a grown kid, you know, not like a little toddler having a tantrum or an outburst, and people look at you, they talk about you. That's because they're ignorant. They don't understand. They haven't been in their shoes. They don't maybe understand, like, oh, that person has special needs. Like that's what happens sometimes when you have autism. Like, your kid has outbursts and you can't do anything about it. My kid doesn't have that issue, so that's great. But a lot of people do. They don't bring their kid out to things, and they don't go to like events or other community type based things, and they keep their kid at home because they don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to have to deal with the behaviors. They don't want to have to explain themselves. They don't want to be looked at funny or talked about. And I get it. I really, really get it. And it sucks that people feel that they have to do that. But on the other side, people probably wouldn't talk about others like that, or point or make faces, or you wouldn't feel embarrassed if you brought your kid out, because they don't understand. They haven't seen that kind of stuff. They don't understand, honestly. When you've dealt with it yourself, or you've been a friend or family member to someone that's dealt with it, you understand. You're very much more compassionate, understanding, and respectful of people that have those things. And you're more willing to be like, oh, let me help you. Like, let me help you. I see you're having a really rough time. I'm really good with kids. And, you know, like, being able to do that to someone, most people don't, because they're just like, what's going on? Like, why is your kid freaking out like that? That's not normal, you know. And you shouldn't act like that towards someone. And it's because that people that have kids or adults with special needs, they don't bring them out for those. And specifically, I like to bring my son out, and yeah, people look at us funny because he's in a wheelchair, but it's not even that. I mean, you see people in wheelchairs all the time, but I'll bring out a skate trainer. It's a big blue like square thing around him with a seat in the middle that he sits on. He walks on that, and a lot of people look at him kind of like, what is going on? And some people are like, okay, sure. And some people just kind of look at us funny, and you know, it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. I mean, a little bit it does, but I know as a mom that that's how my son gets around. And you know what? The fact that he's walking in there by himself and I don't have to have him in my arms or in a stroller, this is awesome. And he's working on his muscles at the same time, which is even better. So, and on top of it, I like to bring him out to those things and bring a skate trainer and not feel embarrassed, because other people are seeing stuff that they don't normally see. And especially if they ask a question, if they're like, what is that? Like, what is your son using? I'll happily tell them what it is and what it's for, because then someone's learning something and they're opening their mind and their horizons to something different. And look at this kid. I mean, you said your son's disabled and he's using that thing to walk around. Cool. Like, you know, people respond much better to things when they understand and know what's going on. So I think kids or adults or whatever with special needs, disabilities, should bring them out in the public. They should do things, because for one, those kids deserve to have fun and be able to do things that other people are doing. And for two, other people get to see that stuff and no longer are ignorant towards those type of things, because they have seen it before. They understand it. They know it. And it would be a much better world if we could do that more for everyone. A win-win. People that have special needs aren't stuck at home all the time, and they get to get out and learn and be in a new environment. And people that are normal, that don't see that stuff, get to open their mind and see stuff that they don't normally see, and won't judge, and will be more compassionate and understanding because they've seen it and they understand it. So I think it's nice to know all these myths and kind of put some true facts to them, so that people understand other things that they don't normally see. And I think it just helps everyone to be more well-rounded. It makes it a better environment if people know what's going on, know how to treat others. That just because someone is different, looks different, or does things differently, doesn't make them not normal. They're normal, they're just doing things that are unnormal, I guess. I don't know, it makes sense to me. It's hard for me to say it out loud and make it make sense, but to me it makes sense. And I'm sure to a lot of you that are watching this and you've seen or heard or know anybody with special needs, you understand. And so let's spread the word. Let's let people know that, you know, they can ask questions to someone that has special needs, that they can help someone, you know, with special needs, that they can learn and not be ignorant, and to be more aware of things, and just to be more respectful, courteous to others. And it would be a lot better of a world if we could all join together and be able to do those things for each other and be more understanding.